Let's go over to Bryce Young. The Panthers got murdered by the Jets. It's, who cares about the score really, but 27-0 kind of caught me by surprise. Young was 4 for 6 for 21 yards. And before we get into some of his play, I do want to talk about, I'm seeing so many different analysts right now who are talking about the hits he's taken. On his first drive, he took 2 big hits on only 3 dropbacks. And, look, like Bryce Young, he's played football. He's been a quarterback his whole life. He was at Alabama. He took shots. In the preseason game, he bounced right up. I'm tired of talking about his height being a huge concern. Like this guy, of course, if he takes some hits, yeah, he is a little shorter, but look, he's a football player. He pops right up. Like I'm done talking about Bryce Young and his stature. Let's just talk about the player.
Took some big hits though.
Yeah,
took some big hits.
I was like, I don't care. Like enough about his size. All right, he was the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah. The Jets have a great defensive line. He's going to play against good defensive lines. That's a thing you think about in the pre-draft, but now that he's here, like you say, Paul, the Panthers just have to do their job as best they can.
Now you roll with it. They picked him.
And he wasn't rattled, right? Like he took some of those big hits, but he stayed poised. He stayed accurate. He read the field well. Like you didn't get to see a whole lot, but he's not going to be scared of taking hits.
No,
that's what I was going to say, which did impress me as a Bryce Young hater myself. Is the fact he was able to stand in there and keep that composure.
Of course he did. He's a good quarterback.
He was accurate. He took a shot. He was still very accurate, which impressed me. But that was my big takeaway on him. Not much of a sample size. He attempted six balls.
He completed 4 of them for 21 yards. So it's nothing crazy. I even noted down he didn't throw any ball past over 10 yards past the line of scrimmage.
But it's one thing though. Like if he's out there getting murked and his balls are flying all over the place and completing nothing. But for the shots he took, he looked very solid.
Well, and that's what you get with Bryce Young, too. Comparing him to Anthony Richardson, those shorter throws, a lot of the ones that are 8 to 10 yards, whatever it is, he's making those pretty consistently. Like, you don't have to worry about accuracy with Bryce. One thing that I am a little concerned about for the Panthers as a whole is the playmakers that they have. I look at Thielen and I look at DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, these guys. There's not many guys that you can give the ball to and they can make a play out of nothing, or they could take it to the house. So what we saw in the preseason week 1, I wouldn't be surprised if that winds up being a lot of the Panthers' offense. It's just short passes, little checkdowns, and things like that. There's not a lot of explosion to me.
Well, I think that's where Bryce Young will shine the most. Mm-hmm. Very similar to how Tua plays, in my opinion. Those quick 9.
But Tua though can launch it to Tyreek Hill. I don't think the Panthers have anything close to Waddle or Hill.
You're right. But I think to veer our track a bit, I think the Dolphins offense at its best when it's quick strike over the middle of one of those guys getting space.
Yeah. Bryce can play like that.
I think Bryce is very, very similar to that. And that's how the Panthers offense should probably be to be most successful.
Okay. Ziggy, what do you think of that? With the Panthers offense, I think that Bryce will be a very good quarterback, but it seems like there's a ceiling on it.
Absolutely. I mean, Frank Reich will be there. That'll certainly help out. But as you say, I mean, the weapons are almost non-existent. It's highly likely that one or maybe even 2 of their receivers are going to get hurt. Christian McCaffrey's not there anymore. The offensive line, admittedly, the Jets defensive line is very good, but the offensive line is not perfect. It's going to be I think a much more typical rookie quarterback season where there's some ups, some downs, and very little team success.
It's too bad it's too bad they don't have a guy like DJ Moore there. I felt like in that trade, for all that they gave up to Chicago, DJ Moore felt like a very nice bonus to that for the Bears. If you give Bryce Young DJ Moore right now, for as much as we joke about him on this show, I mean, he's a legit number 1 receiver. He would help that team a lot.
That's also a guy, too, who you'd be able to take some shots down the field.
Oh, DJ Moore, when you look at his numbers, he's like one of 5 or 6 guys, I think, ever to have 5,000 yards in his first, before age 25 or 26, something like that.
No quarterbacks throwing.
With no quarterback.
Basically.
Yeah,
and you have to keep in mind, we talk about DJ Moore with the Bears, he caught a pass, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and took it 65 yards for a touchdown. It'll be interesting to see how it goes because the Bears wanted Brian Burns, not DJ Moore. The Panthers said, no, we're not giving you Burns. You're going to have to take DJ Moore. The Rams also offered 2 first-round picks last year for Brian Burns, and the Panthers said no. Those picks might have been pretty nice.
Burns is great.
No, he's good, but there's a contract dispute, and even if he's great, it'll be interesting to see how he plays out versus DJ Moore and how that works for the Panthers long term.
When you saw that deal completed and you saw DJ Moore at the end of that, didn't that kind of raise your eyebrows a little bit? You're like, wow, all right, in addition to all the picks, we're also throwing in probably a first round caliber player.
A number one receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, Zach, he's your guy. He's your guy.
He's my fantasy guy.
That touchdown must have got you psyched.
There he is, round 4 on the board.
I mean, you know Zach was watching the Bears game. It was the moment he took that to the house, it was like, all right, second round.
Here's DJ Moore sitting there in the 4th round. I need a receiver 1.
Look, we'll talk about more of this on Thursday for a little sneak peek.
Yeah, Thursday we'll have a fantasy
more
show.
of this.
More of this.
More of this.
Yes.
See what Zach does there?
That's
what
the
producers do.